Hi everybody, welcome to Flosstube number 42. I'm sorry I'm late getting this out today, but we are traveling to Phoenix for Bristol 3 weekend. And my mom and I left Conway, Arkansas yesterday morning, bright and early, and made it to Weatherton or Weatherville. I'll have to look, I can't even remember. Started with a W anyway, someplace in Oklahoma. And stopped, spent the night. It was on Route 66, so that was kind of fun. We found a little diner that used to be a former gas station, and that's where we had dinner last night. So we had a really fun, great trip yesterday. We broke the trip up into 3 days. That was supposed to be 6 hour a day driving. And of course, adding a little bit of time for stops and everything. And that worked pretty good the first day. Today, we started out and things were going great. We made a couple of little pit stops. And then all of a sudden, my GPS said, I-40 is shut down ahead. Proceed with caution and be prepared to take an alternate route. And then it came back on and said, no alternate route at this time. And so I thought, well, if it's shut down, what are we gonna do? But I'd never driven out this direction. And so I had no idea what was out here, what roads I should take, or, you know, we get dependent upon our technology. And so I didn't have a hard copy map with me. And then pretty soon my GPS came back on and said they had found another route that they were going to redirect us. And so it popped up on my screen, a new direction. So we turned where it said to exit, and lo and behold, it took us way up in the top portion of New Mexico. We got within 4 miles of Las Vegas, Nevada, before it turned us back onto another freeway and headed down to Albuquerque. So you guys are just gonna have to bear with me. I look a little frazzled. Makeup is long gone, and it's been a long day today with travel. We did finally make it to Albuquerque, which was gonna be our stopping point tonight. And the poor little guy, he's about my oldest son's age. When he was checking me in, he said, are you guys just traveling through? And I said, yes, we're headed to Phoenix. Hopefully we'll get there tomorrow. And he said, well, have you had a good trip? I said, well, we have until today. I said I-40 was shut down. And I told him our story of where all we went. And he's like, oh, that's terrible. And I said, I know, it's made for a very long day. My 6 hour day driving turned into 9 hours today. And so he said, I tell you what I'm gonna do. Your other room's not quite ready, so I'm just gonna upgrade you to a suite and you have a good evening. And so we are in a nice room, and I'm trying to just chill and relax this evening before we begin our final leg of our trip tomorrow. But it's an adventure. That's all you can say, is it's always an adventure. And it's been an amazing trip so far because the scenery is so different. When we left Arkansas, we had nice rolling green hills, lots and lots of trees. Moved through Oklahoma, which kind of changed to more open areas. We were amazed by all the huge windmills that we saw and passed. And then that changed over to kind of scrub brush and more desert looking as we got into New Mexico. And then as we got closer to Santa Fe and Las Vegas today, there were some huge mountains. And we kept seeing this rain cloud come across, and we thought it was just gonna pour on us any minute. But it seemed like we were right behind the rain cloud. Well, as we got up into the mountains right before Santa Fe, kind of between Las Vegas and Santa Fe, there was snow on the side of the road. We had snow, not on the road, but in the grassy area next to the road. The houses had snow on their roofs. So that was interesting. June and there's snow. But we kind of enjoyed seeing the difference in how our country changes from one state to another. So that's all you can do. When you have some oops on the road trips, you just make the best of it and enjoy what you can. So anyway, I'm finally coming to you today. It is still Sunday, and I want to share a little sampler that I brought, and I actually got a start on it late last night. So I'm going to show that to you. And this is probably one of my smallest samplers, but it's one of my favorites. And I'll show you and tell you why it's my favorite. This one is by Clarke. And it's just a simple little sampler. It has some letters, some little dividing bands, and then the verse is the part that really got me. It's very simple. It just says, fear God, honor your parents, and love the truth. Clarke, age 7 years. And I thought, how true is that? That's 3 very simple rules to follow. And if we all followed those 3 rules, wouldn't we have a good life? Fear God, honor your parents, and love the truth. So I think that's one of my favorite verses on any of the samplers that I own, just because it's so simple, but so true. And the other thing that amazed me was that this little girl was 7 years old when she stitched this. That's just amazing to me. And another thing, as I charted it, there were little quirks that I found. So I'm gonna share some of those with you. The first one is really not a quirk, but I haven't figured it out yet. So if you guys have an idea, just jot it down below. At the very top, if you look across, she has eyes, one eye after another. Then at the very end of that row, she kind of changes up the way she makes the eye. These are pretty straight, and then she's got this little bump out in the middle of the eye on the end of the row. And then she goes down here and she does the alphabet. She has 2 different A's, the B's, 2 C's. She has 2 of each letter. And sometimes one letter is done just a little bit differently than the other one. And so that makes sense to me. I can see why she did that. And then she has the numerals and then her verse. But I have no idea why she did a whole row of eyes to start her sampler. She may be the only one that knew why she did it, and that may remain a secret. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. The only thing I thought, maybe, she has an I with her J down below. She didn't do 2 J's. She did an I and then the J. And so maybe she thought, well, maybe I left the poor I and J out and I'm just gonna make some more. I don't know. It's a curious thing for me to wonder about. And then her little dividing bands are really sweet. But here's the quirks that I kind of want to point out, other than all the eyes. If you look closely, you just see the verse, and it's hard to tell that there's anything wrong. But as I began to chart and really look closely at where she placed her stitches, she's got some up, she's got some down. This one kind of does this little bit where it's going up and down, up and down. And I think she just got off on where her stitches should go. I don't necessarily think she did that on purpose. I think she just kind of got off on where those stitches should go. Then the other thing that I noticed, some of this that she stitched in the verse looks like it's done in wool. But then there's some letters such as the G and the O, the P, this U, the S, and then and. Those look like cotton. It's a lot smaller. The color is nearly exact to the rest of it. It's just a different type of thread. So she did an excellent job matching the colors, but I think she actually used 2 different types of thread in that particular verse. So I thought that was interesting. When I started picking the colors out, I looked at the front, and then I'll show you a picture of the back. And the colors really are pretty true, the front and the back. There wasn't a lot of fading, so I thought that was good. As you can see, there's really not a lot of difference in the front and the back. So anyway, this is a very sweet, small sampler, and I thought this would be a good one to bring to stitch on the road. I've got all my colors picked out here, and I have a star. I decided to stitch it on 36 count Fiber on a Whim Cafe au lait. And I won't show you that in the bag. It's hard to see on the camera. This is it, and this is my little start. I started with the verse, and I charted it just as she stitched it. So if you look at mine, you can see that it does not go, this kind of goes, jumps up some, and then my honor is up, down, up, and kind of goes across a little bit. It's not exactly on the same line that it should be, but that's how the young stitcher stitched hers, and so that's how I charted it. But this sampler would be a really easy one. I know I talked a little bit last week about Aida stitchers, and there's nothing wrong with that. This would be an easy one because it's all straight cross stitch to actually stitch on Aida. So for those of you that have not attempted a sampler yet, because Aida's your choice of fabric, grab this one and stitch it. This will be an easy one to stitch using Aida. Now I'm going to show you what I found, and I found this yesterday in a little antique mall. That's when I'm traveling. If I see an antique shop, I have to stop. My car just automatically turns in. I have no control over it. I think some of you probably are the same way. But in the antique shop, I found two cute little wooden spools. I got this one. It's kind of got a little rusty red top and bottom. I thought that was really cute, and it's a nice size. And then I found this one. This has just got a wood top and bottom, and it's a nice size as well. And this little sampler is going to fit right on this spool. So I'm excited about doing it and placing it on here. I may have to attach it where part of it is off, or I may attach it where it hangs from the spool. I haven't made my mind up yet. I'm gonna think about it a little bit, but it's going on the spool somehow or the other. The next thing I like to talk to you guys about is what did I bring with me in my little stitching case? And so I'm going to show you my stitching case and show you what I have in it today. So this was a gift by my friend Polly. She is so talented. She does great work, and she saw the purple and knew, oh my goodness, I have to have purple. So this little case is a great size to stick in my bag to carry. And when you open it, it's just a little jewelry case that she has modified. And I know that's kind of been the thing lately, all these jewelry cases. I'm just impressed when I see them. I'm just thankful I had a friend that knows how to do it, and that made me one. So anyway, inside, she's done this little bottom portion. She's taken some fabric with violets and placed in the bottom. And then the part that you put rings, she recovered some of that with some little violet fabric. And I stick I have a little needle threader, a counting pin, oh my goodness, sorry, some other little things in there. And I can use it like a pin cushion. Then in the two sides, this that just fell out, is a little salt cellar, and I have some wool that I made a little pin cushion. I have my needle case with needles. I have this little Kohana, it's like a needle nanny, and it will sharpen your needles as well. I have my little frogger, which I don't like to have to use. Then up here at the top, I have a little boo-boo brush. She even found this little needle minder that says, let's stitch, and it has violets on it. Isn't that perfect? And then I can also attach little things in there. Then if I unsnap this top portion, I open that up, and I've just got that full too. There's a cute little mirror, and she's trimmed it out with some purple buttons and rickrack. I have some little clips. I have a magnetic placeholder. I have a little magnetic picker-upper, because I'm always losing a needle. I have a couple pair of scissors. I have a pin. I have a little magnetic line keeper as well. and a little tape measure. So it is amazing what all will fit in this little needle case. So then I can shut this portion. Make sure I get it all back in. You know, it never fits in the way it does when you unpack it. Once I snap that, I can close it, snap the outside, and it's ready to go. So thank you, Polly. I love my little needle case. Then for my light, I know there's always a huge debate about what kind of light do you travel with. And I used to take a little OttLite that I had, and then I had a halo light, and I still do, and I like my halo light. But recently, I have started traveling with these little neck lights. They just fit around. I got this one off of Amazon. They're rechargeable. They have 3 different settings, and it's perfect. I can fix it where it shines on my stitching, and as long as it's not like a 56 count or 46 count, I don't need my magnifier, and I can stitch on it with just the light. So it's very handy. I don't have to worry about having a cord out anywhere, and that's just my light of choice right now. Of course, it could change, you know. I've been looking at some of the ones Nicola's showing, and I may have to have one of those too. It's kind of like scissors. You can never have too many lights, and you can never have too many scissors. Then I have a little heart needle case, and it's purple. All my friends know me well. My friend Dee got us these little cases, and I use this to carry some extra needle minders in, because they're just fun. I like to carry needle minders and stick them on my stitching. Then I have my project bag, which is kind of bursting at the seams. And I have another friend, Cheryl Howard. She has Stitching Frills on Etsy, and she just does an absolutely beautiful job making project bags and retreat mats and things. And so I sent her the fabric that I wanted, and of course I had to have violets. And then she did the monogramming and made the project bag for me. And this is the back of the fabric with the violets. And so I have some little projects in here I might work on, and I might not. I don't know what I'll get to. I always bring more than I ever get to, but I have a choice then. I have this little piece that's flat. It's easy to pack, but if I snap the corners together, I'll get it snapped to show you what it does. But when I travel, I keep it flat. It's just a little tray, and the 103s, I can lay those in here, and they fit perfectly, so they won't roll off the table or whatever I'm using. Then I have another little flat piece that when I snap it together, I can like put my scissors in here, or I can use it for a little Ort tray, whatever you want to use it for. And so after you get it snapped together, this is what you've got. So that's really nice and handy. I then have this little retreat mat, and if I open it up, it will fit a small project. I can put my scissors here, some threads at the top. I could attach some needles. It's got a zipper pouch on the other side, so it's a fun little piece to have. And then when I first sit down and get, you know, we all have to make nests with where we're going to sit at the retreat. And so I have this little, it looks like a placemat, violets and verses. And that's so I can kind of keep all my stuff together and I don't get in anybody else's space. This gives me my space to put all my stitching goodies on. So anyway, those are the things that I bring with me when I stitch. And, you know, we do, talking about nest, whenever we get to a retreat or even in our homes, we have to have certain things with us that make our stitching fun and handy and just have all of our stuff around us. So all of these things I showed you make it a little easier when I'm going out of town to a retreat or traveling. I still have what I need to stitch. I have a winner I need to talk about from last week. The prize from last week was the little bee notions. I think there was like a little square gauge. It had a little notions bag and some other little goodies that had bees on them. And that winner is Judy Parry, P-A-R-R-Y. So Judy, if you're watching, be sure and send me an email with your mailing address, and I will mail that to you as soon as I get home. I won't be home until probably the 16th. And so it may be a little bit, but I promise as soon as I get home, I'll get your prize in the mail to you. This week, I don't have it to show you yet because I haven't made it to Phoenix, but I'm going to bring home some kind of a surprise from the attic. So this week is truly a surprise. You won't know what it is till you get it. But the winner that I draw this next Sunday will get a little treat from the attic when I go visit the shop. So anyway, that's my plan. I have another sampler I brought, so I'll come to you again next Sunday. Hopefully I won't look so frazzled next week and won't scare you or anything when I do my video, but I will share another sampler with you, and hopefully I'll have a little more progress done on the one I showed you today. And you can see what I got done. See if I was busy during the retreat. And I'll also give a little update on the Attic Bristol 3 weekend on how that went. So I'm looking forward to a fun time in Phoenix. I can't wait to share it with all of you. And I will talk to you very soon. So have a great week. Get some stitching in. If you've subscribed, thank you. We had several new subscribers this week. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and hit the like button down below and the bell so that way it will notify you when I upload another video. So until then, take care, get some stitching in, and have a fantastic week. Bye.